Sarvebhyo Namo Namaha. Good morning to all. I welcome you all to this session of Sanatana Dharma Basic Level Course, 8th batch in English medium. We will start the session with Vande Mataram by Sunita Gar.
सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः। वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनीं पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदलशोभिनीं सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं
Vande Mataram. Thank you, Sunita Gar.
Thank you.
I request Sushmita Garu to do the prayer.
Okay. 1 minute meditation. Now we will chant Omkaram 3 times. गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवश्रमस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविच्यवतु। ॐ श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुरेव गतिः गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे। न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरो मां पाहि गुरो। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मातृदेवो भव, पितृदेवो भव, आचार्यदेवो भव, अतिथिदेवो भव। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्।
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you, Sushmita garu. Now I request Dr. Vishalaksha garu to take the class.
ధన్యవాదాలు. ఓం శ్రీ మహాగణాధిపతయే నమః. ఓం శ్రీ పార్వతీ రాజరాజేశ్వరాభ్యాం నమః. ఓం శ్రీ మేధా దక్షిణామూర్తయే నమః. ఓం శ్రీ మహాసరస్వత్యై నమః. ఓం శివాయ గురవే నమః. ఓం నమః శివాయై చ నమః శివాయ. ఓం నమః శివాయ. టుడే ఆల్సో we will start with prayer slokas. Today we will pray Lakshmi Mata, Mahalakshmi Devi. All the slokas you are learning through these classes, all of you are aware of all the slokas, all the stories. The only thing is we are learning in Sanskritam. That is the only thing. Namastestu Mahamaye Sripithe Surapujite Shankha Chakra Gada Haste Mahalakshmi Namostute. So thus every day, of course, we pray all these slokas. Namaha te astu. Let there be namaskaram, pranaman to you. Namaha means bowing down. Namaha, actually the meaning we can say, which is not mine. Nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to Paramatma only. God has given everything in this world. So namaha te astu. I bow down, do pranama to you. To whom we are doing namaskara? Mahamaye. This is addressing Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti. Mahamaya. Maya. The meaning of the word is actually Maya means delusion, illusion, like that we say. The meaning of the word is Ya Ma. Ya means that which is Yet Shabda. How many of you studied and learnt by heart all the Ajanta Shabdas, Halanta Shabdas and Sarvanama Shabdas? Can any of you tell how many Shabdas you are learning every day? At least one Shabda for 2 days or 3 days. Thus all of you try to learn by heart. In the coming class, I will ask you to tell the forms of Ajanta Shabdas and Sarvanama Shabdas, which are very important for framing the sentences, to be able to learn, when understand, read, and to say anything. Sarvanama Shabda, Ajanta Shabdas, all of you are aware. Akara, Ikara, Ukara, Rukara, Okaranta, Pumlinga, Strilinga, Napumsakalinga Shabdas. Sarvanama Shabdas are, they are at the end. After Halanta, Sarvanama Shabdas. Asmat Shabda, Yushmat Shabda, then Kim Shabda, in all 3 genders, all the masculine, feminine and neuter gender. Kim Shabda, Yet Shabda, Tat Shabda, then Idam Shabda, Others Shabda, all these. Okay? You try to learn by heart, or if not, you write down all the Shabdas. Shabda Manjari book you got. So writing the forms, you keep them in front of you. When I ask you, you try to answer either orally or seeing. Okay? Maya. Ma means Ma Rama Mangala Devata, Mahalakshmi Devi. Ma also is Nishedharthaka Pada. that which says prohibits. No, not. I don't like that, giving negative sense. So Maya is explained as Yama, that which is complete prosperity, the whole Aishwarya, that which is everything of the universe. Yama. Yama, another meaning is that which does not exist at all, which is not at all there, that which is not existing at all. We call that as Maya, Yama. So, what is Maya? Maya is actually described as the inseparable power of Paramatma, by which, by the power, by his own power of Maya, Bhagavan, Parabrahman, Paramatma creates the whole universe. So, the Nirguna Paratattva described in the Vedas, Upanishads and all, when that Brahman is endowed with Maya, he becomes Saguna Iswara, the whole universe, Vishwam Vishnuku, we say. Thus we can explain. So, but this Mahalakshmi, she herself is Mahamaya Shakti. Sri Pithe, she sits on Sri Pitha. That is a sort of place throne, which is Shri, Sakara, Rakara with Imkara. That is, she is Sri Shakti Swarupini. Sa, Saraswati Devi. Ra, Rama Devi. E is the Shakti Bija of Jagannatha, Parvati Devi. So the word, one letter is one word. This one word Sri contains all three Shaktis in it. That is, the whole divine power is imbibed in this one letter, Sri. That is why always we add Sri in the beginning. Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, like that. Even to the honorable people, we, great people, good people, elders to us, always we add Sri and Srimati, like that. Srimati, why Srimati? Normally we think the married people are women are to be called as Srimati. Then unmarried girls, Kumari, as we say. Srimati, Matuppu Prachaya is also one of the prayogas of Sanskritam. Mat means it contains. Srimat, Sriman means one who got Sri. Buddhimat, Buddhiman, one who got Buddhi. Guna, Vat, it changes. Mat, Gunavan, one who got gunas, good qualities. Ramaha, Gunavan, Balakaha, like that. So, Sri Pithe, one who is sitting on a noble high throne, Sura Pujite, and who is being worshipped by all the gods, Devendra, etc. When Goddess Mahalakshmi Devi is emanating from the Kshira Sagara at the time of churning, when Mahalakshmi erosion came, at once Devendra, along with all his gods, he approached her and he did, that is, bringing water from all the oceans, holy rivers and all. He did Pattabhisheka to Mahalakshmi Devi. After, when all of them completed doing puja, honor and all, without raising her head, Mahalakshmi Mata walked and approached Sri Mahavishnu, who is happily lying down at a corner of that Milky Ocean, and she put the Varamala garland over the neck of Sri Mahavishnu. That is, she selected him as her husband. Then immediately Sri Mahavishnu, he took her and put her in his Hridaya. Then after sitting happily, comfortably in the heart of Sri Mahavishnu, Mahalakshmi Devi, then slowly she saw the face of Devendra and all other gods, goddesses, everyone. That is, when money, Aishwarya, Mahalakshmi Devi represents Aishwarya, prosperity, wealth, Dhana. Sri Mahavishnu means Dharma. When the wealth is with dharma, then if it is acquired or obtained by anyone, that would be for good. The moment Mahalakshmi Devi just saw with a glance of Karuna towards Indra, then Devendra got his prosperity, his Devaloka, everything he got back. So Sura Pujite, who is being worshipped by Devendra and all the gods. Shankha Chakra Gada Haste, who is holding Shankha, Conch and Chakra. Vishnu Chakra, that Sudarshana Chakra. Even goddess Mahadevi also holds Chakra. Gada and also Gada. All these are the instruments. At the time of fighting with the Rakshasas, all the gods, they use Gada, Shankha, Chakra, etc. In fact, Mahalakshmi Devi, on her palm, she got all these marks. The gods and goddesses, on their feet and on their palms, they possess these marks. So, those who got such divine marks, Ramachandra, when he was born, Sri Mahavishnu took incarnation as Rama. When Ramabhadra, Ramachandra was born, all these Shankha, Chakra, Gada, all these are seen on his body. So, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Haste, who is having these Shankha, Chakra and Gada on her hands, on her palm, or holding them in hands. Mahalakshmi, such a Mahalakshmi, Mahan Lakshmi. Mahan means always great, Mahat Shabda. Then Lakshmi, Lakshma means characteristic, a particular trait, a particular guna, quality. Mahalakshmi means one who possesses a particular traits, good, best, divine qualities in her. So to such a Mahalakshmi, Namaha te astu. Let there be salutations to you, namaskarams to you. That is He Mahalakshmi, who are seated on a, actually even Mahalakshmi sits on lotus flower only. Padma haste, Padma kare, Padma mukhe, Padmalaye, everything are described as with in connection with Padma, the lotus flower. So this Mahalakshmi Devi, who is Mahamaya Shakti, who is invincible power and who is being worshipped by all the gods, who is having the signs, chiknas of Shankha, Chakra, Gada, are holding them in the hands. Such Mahalakshmi Devi, I do pranama to you. Then Padmasana Sthite Devi, Parabrahma Swarupini, Parameshi Jaganmataha, Parameshi Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Jaganmataha, Jagat Mataha, Jagan Mataha, Sandhi. Mataha Visarga Mahalakshmi, Visarga changed to Refa. So Jaganmataha Mahalakshmi, Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi. So how is this Devi to whom we are doing pranama? Te namaha astu. Let there be pranama to you, means we are all doing pranama, namaskaram to you. To whom we are doing pranama? Padmasana sthite, Padma asana sthite. Padma means lotus, asana, seat. The lotus flower itself is the asana, seat to Mahalakshmi. So one who is being seated on the seat in the form of lotus flower, Devi, hey Devi, we are doing pranama to you. So here Devi is Sambodhana. How we are addressing Mahalakshmi? As Devi. Devi means lustrous, one who is shining. Divu dhatu, dew. Dew is kanti. From dew, diva. From that, deva. So deva means luminous, one who is shining. All the gods are having lustrous bodies. So Kanti, we say. So those who are shining with luster, says Sache Devi, Parabrahma Swarupini, Hey Jagannatha, you are not just Mahalakshmi who gives us prosperity, wealth, Aishwarya, position and all. You are Sakshat, transcendental reality. You are Nirguna Niranjana Nirakara Paratattva, described in the Vedas and Upanishads. So, Hey Parabrahma Swarupini, who is actual, your actual Swarupa is Paratattva. But Upasakanam Karyartham Brahmano Rupa Kalpana, says the Upanishad. So, for the sake of the sadhakas, devotees, that Nirguna Tattva assumed a physical form. So we are able to see all the Trimurtis, Trishaktis, all the gods with certain physical form, ornaments, then weapons and all, and the alankaras, and also the vahanas, that is they ascend. Every god, deity got certain vahana. They got certain ornaments. They got certain weapons in hand to protect the devotees and sajjanas, sat purushas, and punish the dushta shikshana, sishta rakshana. So Parameshi, even this is Sambodhana. We are addressing in this sloka, they are addressing Jagannatha Mahalakshmi as Parameshi, Parama, Ishi, Isha, Ish to rule, Shasaka, Ishvara, one who is the ruler of entire universe. So Parameshi also means, hey great ruler of the universe, Jagannatha, Jagat Mata, she is mother to the whole world. Mahalakshmi, who is that Jagannatha? She is Mahalakshmi. So to such Mahalakshmi, who is Vishwajanani, Jagannatha, we are doing our pranama. Have you understood these slokas, or is there any difficulty in understanding?
No, madam. No, madam.
Madam,
We understood.
Madam.
Perfect.
Madam, actually, I have one doubt.
Yes.
See, actually, this sloka has multiple, stanzas. You have taken sloka 1 and you have taken sloka 7, actually. Is there any reason, ma'am, why we left?
Harivom. Actually, we that is why I said all of you are aware. Mahalakshmi Ashtakam, you know, we are reciting all, but I did not take all and explain. Only one or two slokas with regard to particular deities every day, starting with Ganapati, Parameswara, Mahalakshmi, like that we, Shiva, Surya Bhagavan, thus we pray. Actually, these slokas are there in Pravesa book, which I explain now, page number 127. Okay.
Yeah. My request, ma'am, whatever you are saying, if it is connected to Pravesha book, kindly tell us the page number so that it will be easy for us to follow.
Page number 127. Now I will explain Prahelika from page number 126 because it is here. So 126 Prahelika. Now you see if you got the book with you. Natasyadihi natasyantaka machyeyah tasya tishtati tavapyasti mamapyasti yadi janasi tadvada. Na tasya adihi na tasya antaka madhyeyah tasya tishtati tava api asti mama api asti yadi janasi tat vada. Yadi janasi, if you know the answer, if you know, tat vada, you please tell that. If you know, you answer this, you tell that. What you must say, the puzzle is given here. Na tasya adihi. Tasya means to that. Whatever you have to find out and tell, something is there. To that something, na adi. Adi is not there. There is no beginning. Na tasya antaha. that does not have anta, end, beginningless, endless. Adi is not there, anta is not there. Tasya madhye yaha tishtati, that which is existing in between. Adi, at the beginning it is there, at the end it is there, but in the beginning it is there. Actually in Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, we say Adavante cha yen nasti vartamanepi tat tatha. If at the beginning and at the end something is not there, in the middle, even if it appears as if it is there, as if it is existing, it does not exist at all. That is how they declared that this creation, this world, Nanatva, our Jagrat experience that we are experiencing, this is not at all there. This is all Mithya, illusion, they say. Not illusion. Mithya got very depth meaning, very in-depth meaning it got. Mithya. It exists, but it appears as if it is not that. The original thing will not be visible to us, but we see something as other. So that is Mithya. So this middle one, Mathye Yaha, that which is there in the middle, Tasya Tishtati, that is that which is in between you, in between these two, in the middle, that it exists in you and in me also. So the what is there in the middle, at the middle, that is existing in me and in you also. But it does not have the beginning, it does not have the end. Can any of you tell such a wonderful thing which
Atma.
does have the beginning, does not have the end, but in the middle it is there? That middle part is in you and in me. Can you answer this? Really?
Atma.
Can you tell?
Atma.
Atma. What is Atma? Atma means it is a very big phenomenon which is to be explained in thousands and thousands of pages matter. Atma means, actually, shall I explain the meaning of the word Atma? A means A samantat, Ang, Upasarga, one of the 22 Upasargas. Ang, Nga, Itsavajna dropped. So A. The meaning of the Upasarga A is totality, complete, Purnatva. A samantat, we say, means completely. A, ta, ma, 3 letter syllables are there. Atma. A means A samantat, means fully, completely, totally. Takara is there. Ma is there. Ma means Ma Rama Mangala Devata. The whole prosperity, everything of the whole universe, it is Atma only, because ta letter is Samyogatmaka, that which unites. This Takara is uniting A with Ma. The whole thing is Ma only, Mahalakshmi only. Means the Atma means whatever greatness, divinity, everything wonderful, that is the astonishing powers, everything that exists in the whole universe is Atma only. And another meaning is A-ta ma. Ma means Nishetha Arthaka Pada. The whole thing, whatever is appearing here in this universe, it is not at all existing. Atma means that which does not exist. That which is not at all there is Atma. So the whole power is Atma. That which is not there is Atma. Is it okay? Are these meanings relevant, appearing as
Very
relevant?
nice, madam. We want you to tell more like this,
I wrote in
so
my
we can understand
word,
better.
word Atma. Because
Very
Atma,
nice.
soul, they say in English. But soul does not give this sort of meaning. So this
Right.
meaning I explained in my thesis, PhD thesis.
Yeah.
So Atma
Very
means
nice.
Atma in these both the senses, then Jivatma is there, Paramatma is there. So Jivatma is that power which is in Vyashti individuals. Parama Atma. Paramatma means that Paramatma, the transcendental power, Samishti Chaitanya Shakti. So Atma, of course, one meaning you said. But
Can it be, madam?
yes,
Can it
huh?
be Nayana? Na in the
How?
beginning, Na in the end, and Ya in the middle.
But you must explain the letters of this because the samasya is there only. Na tasya. Na
Okay.
tasya means adiki. In splitting the letters of the words given in this prehelika, the answer comes. If the book is with you, if because the
Okay.
answer is given,
I don't
now
have the book.
actually how to say the answer is Nayanam, the I, we cannot say I does not have Adi, Anta and all. But the meaning of the letters, how we have to split the answer of prehelikas lie in sometimes in splitting the letters and giving the meaning. The meaning is actually the answer. Tasya yadi janasi tadvada. If you know, you please tell. That is how they said. So what should be the answer? Na tasya adihi. At the beginning of that answer, na comes. So the letter na we have to write down at the beginning. So na, then at the end. So tasya na tasya adihi na tasya antaka. So at the end also we must write na. So one na, another na or nam with halanta. Even if we write with any halvarna, that can be called as na. So na and na. Then in the middle, tasya madhye yaha. So what should be in the middle? In the middle of this na and na, it should be ya. So na ya na. Nayana. Nayana means nayanam. The eye. Very good. Nicely you said, but this is how we must explain when you get in the exam. So na, beginning, first letter is beginning with na. Na tasya adihi. Tasya adihi na means the beginning of that word is na. Here we should not take in the sense of na means not. Na tasya adihi does not have the beginning. That is how I explained. That we should not. But we have to explain in that way only.
I actually took it that way, madam. Now, when you said no,
Yes.
it is not beginning, no end. I thought the column of light in Tiruvannamalai is like that. There is no Adi, there is no Antaha.
Correct. Exactly correct. What you have said is 100% right. Atma. We can never say what is the beginning of Atma, what is the end of Atma. But in the middle, it appears as if we are all living. We feel now we are living. That is why we are conducting classes, learning something, doing all vyavahara. But it is in the middle only. At the beginning, nothing. At the end, nothing. We leave everything and go away. Then what remains? Nothing. So Atma is exactly 100% correct what you have said.
Madam,
But
madam,
here
what about
it is,
what about Om, madam? Om.
Om, if I start explaining the whole class time, it would be. See, once in our Veda Sanskrit Samiti webinars, long back, I just took one webinar on Omkara. If possible, you listen that. Pranavam, Pranava. Or if at any other time also, I will explain you when time comes. Actually, Mandukya Upanishad completely explains about this Omkara. Prashna Upanishad, now you are learning. Third part is over. Fourth part, this Sunday I will explain. Then Omkara I explain there because even that is part of Prashna Upanishad. There, all of you try to attend all the webinars conducted by Veda Samskriti Samiti and also the seminars of NRI. NRI Satsang, the link master, our Prabhakara Mahodaya is sending into all the groups. All of you try to attend and learn, because Upanishadic knowledge, it is very essential for all of us to know what is there in the Vedas, Upanishads and all. Omkara is neither beginningless nor endless nor existing in the middle. Omkara is the whole universe is Omkara. Complete Vangmaya is Omkara. So, as you have said, Rajiv sir, Omkara is, it does not come under this category of this puzzle. Na tasya adihi, na tasya antaka. It is everything. Then how can we say it is not there in the beginning, not there at the end?
Thank you,
Okay?
madam. Thank you, madam.
This is the only answer. In one line we can answer. So, Omkara is everything, the whole universe. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. Then all the Vedas, all the letters, the complete Vangmaya. And all the Sthiti, Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, Sthitis, Avastas, then Turiya. So, everything. Okay. So, the answer is na, ya, na. Because Tasya madhye yaha. Yaha means ya, yakara. So in the middle, ya is there. So na, ya, na. Nayana. Nayana also means eye. Nayanam also we can say. Nayana means because it is Napumsakalinga Shabda, Nayanam we say. Akshi. Akshi also. Akshi, Akshini, Akshini. Napumsakalinga Shabda means the eye. Okay. Now I want to know whether all of you are able to follow the Vyakarana that I am teaching to you. All the Shabdas, all the Dhatus, Parasmaipadi, Atmanepadi. Is it confusing to you? Dasya Lakaras I said, then out of them only 5 of course we took even then. That is Vartaman Kala, Putakala, Bhavishyat Kala, Ajnartha, Vithiling and all. Are you able to follow, or is there any difficulty to you? For next class,
Able to follow.
Vishalakshmi garu, we are finding it, I mean, we the beginners are finding it a bit difficult, but you are trying, I mean, we are able to understand something of it. I think all of us have to go through Pravesha for sure. Me and my wife are going through anyway, so just my observation.
actually this class we have introduced Sanskritam here in our, at the beginning for 4 batches, actually Sanskritam we did not took as part of our, when we conducted 3 months course. It was not there. Later we thought it is to be taught to all the people, because you must know what greatness is there, what importance, prominence is there for Samskrita Bhasha, because the complete entire knowledge is there in Sanskritam. Our culture, our civilization, our knowledge, everything exists through Sanskritam in the Samskrita Bhasha. So to create interest among all the students of this course in Sanskritam, we have introduced it. So when you learn for 15 days, knowing whether you are able to understand it thoroughly or not, if you know what all are there in Sanskritam to learn, you will definitely take interest in joining Pravesa course. Once you join, step into Pravesa automatically for every 6 months exam would be there. Pravesa, Parchaya, Siksha, Kovida, like that within 2 years, you will become Kovida, actually means Pandit, scholar. It does not mean really you become Kovidas, but you will pass, get the certificate. You will have the idea of what all are taught in Samskrita Bhasha, at least as a nutshell. So we introduced it. So try to understand. If any difficulty is there, you tell me. In fact, it is Agatha Ananta. So many Prikriyas, Prachayas, varieties, so many are there in Samskrita Bhasha. We are not at all introducing all of them due to lack of time. Only a few, because it should be interesting to you. After completing the course, when the Sanskritam classes are over, then suppose anybody question you what you have learned. At least you must be able to tell that whether you have understood fully or not. We have learned the meanings of certain slokas, certain prahelikas, some vyakarana, grammar of Sanskritam, then stories, then the talkativeness, vyavahara of Sanskritam, what all words are there in Sanskritam for all the words that we use in our daily life, and also the complete Vangmaya of Sanskritam, what all knowledge is given, hidden, given completely to us by Bhagavan, Paramatma in the form of Vedas, Upanishads and all, by Maharshis in the form of Itihasas, Dharma Shastras, Dharma Shastra Grantha, Shastra Granthas we say, then Darshanas, then Kavya, Nataka, Katha, Akyayika, then Champu we say when Gajja, Padya are mixed. Then Subhashita, Slokas, Shatakas, Stotra Granthas are there. So if you get the idea that all these are there, you would be able to tell others the magnificence of, the greatness of Samskrita Bhasha, the importance of learning Sanskritam to know about the final purpose of life. We must learn Sanskritam to live as a cultured person, having the real good knowledge. We have to learn Sanskritam. To have the knowledge of any Shastra, the basic books, the fundamentals, they are given by Maharshis through Samskrita Bhasha in Shastra Granthas. For them, the base is Veda Mantras. So everything related to all the branches of education, science, arts, commerce, this, that, and even including computers, everything, the base is Vedas. It is given in the form of formulas as mantras. We call them as mantra when we speak of Vedas and Upanishads. So in the Vedas and Upanishads, they are given like one sentence, like the sutra. Sutra means alpaksharam asandigdham saravad visvato mukham astopam anavadyancha sutram sutra vido viduhu. This is the definition given to sutra. We got a lot of sutra vangmaya. The entire knowledge is given in the form of small sentences. All Shaddarsanas are in sutra form. Panini Ashtachayi is in sutra form, that is Vyakarana. All Shaddarsanas, I said completely. What are the Shaddarsanas? We got 6 Astika Darshanas, 3 Nastika Darshanas. Even they are in the form of sutras only. And Gautama Buddha wrote, of course, in a different manner. Now, in Pali Bhasha, he wrote, not in Sanskritam. Jaina, that may be a little different. Actually, for Nastika Darshanas, Nastika does not mean they do not believe either in God or not. That is not the criteria. Those who believe the authority of Vedas are Astika Darshanas. Those who do not believe the authority of Veda, they are called as Nastika. Charvaka Darshana, Charu Vak. In fact, Charvaka Darshana got its origin in Puranas. In Bhagavata Purana, it is there. Even then, we call it as Nastika Darshana because the doctrine, the sutras that are there, the teachings of Charvaka Darshana say that Vedas are not pramanas at all. We have to live Yavad Jivet Sukhan Jivet Runam Krutva Krutam Pibet Bhasme Bhutasya Dehasya Punaragamanam Kutaka. This is taken as the essence of Charvaka Darshana. As long as you live on this world with this body given by God, we do not know. They do not bother how we are born, Why to analyze body, this, that, and all? We are born. The senses are given to us. The objects are there in the world. So let us enjoy. You take even depth, then do robbery also, nothing wrong. Somehow you enjoy. That is what they are taking. Runam krutva krutam pibet. Taking depth from others also, or seizing from others, snatching others articles also you can enjoy. Because after death, when your body reduces to ashes, how do you feel that again you come back? Where is the guarantee? People may say Swarga, Naraka are there, Punarjanma is there, Karma, this, that, and all. But we don't believe, because they believe only in Pratyaksha Pramana. There are 8 Pramanas. Pramana means authorities. Vedas are Parama Pramana Granthas for us, Hindus, Sanatana Dharmanuyayis, not only to us, to the whole universe, to entire mankind. Vedas are the real Pramana Granthas and the first recorded literary documents. Entire knowledge is given in Vedas, that which is beneficial to the whole mankind. So Vedas. Then, so of course, leaving these Nastika Darsanas aside, Astika Darsanas, Sankhya Darsana, Yoga Darsana, then Nyaya Darsana, Vaiseshika Darsana, Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. These are the Shad Darsanas. All these Darsanas are in Sutra form. And all the Dharma Shastra Granthas, Manu Dharma Shastra, of course, is in Sloka form, Slokas. Then Apastamba Dharma Sutras, Apastamba Gruhya Sutras, Harita Smriti. We got so many Smriti Granthas, so many Dharma Shastras, all these are in Sutra form. So, because it is very easy to learn by heart the Sutras and very easy to learn by heart the Slokas. Sanskrit, in our Maharshis, they wrote in Sanskritam, they wrote in Sloka form, they wrote in Sutra form. Because Samskrita Bhasha is the original, first one and only language that existed on the whole earth for lakhs of years. Later, from Sanskritam, hundreds of so many languages emanated. And then, of course, once our whole earth was ruled by our Sanatana Dharmanuyayis, who came directly from Paramatma through Sun God and Manu. Manus, Manvantara, we say 14 Manus are there. So Swayambhuva Manu, Swarochisha Manu, so many Savarni Manu. Of course, you might have heard this Savarni Manu through Devi Mahatmyam, the Chandi Saptasiti and all. So last time you have learnt about Vedas, then Vedanga, Siksha, Vyakaranam, Chendo, Niruktam, Jyotishan, Tatha, Kalpasyeti, Shadangani. Then Upavedas, 4 Vedas are there. All 4 Vedas got Upavedas. Dhanur Veda, Rigvedas, Upaveda is 4 Vedas and 4 Upavedas.
Ayurvedam. Ayurvedam, madam. Rigveda.
Veda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, then Stapatya Veda. For in place of Stapatya, some people speak of Ardha Veda. So all these 4 are the Upavedas. Then Shad Darsanas. And Dharma Shastras, we got Itihasa. Ramayana and Mahabharata both are Iti Ha Asa. Iti means thus, Ha means indeed, surely, Asa was there. That is the incidents that really occurred on this earth are being recorded. So they are called as Itihasa. Iti Iha Asa. Iha means this world. So thus they occurred on this earth once upon a time. So they are itihasas. Dharma Shastra. Shastra means spoken in a systematic manner. Dharma, dhru, dharana, dharma ityakuku. Dhru is the root from which the word dharma has come. Dharma is to be explained in a very elaborated manner. When you join, you will know in detail, of course, in all these courses and all. I think I have already explained while explaining Sanatana Dharma and Shodesh Samskaras. I have explained about Dharma. Any of you, do you remember? Already our classes are over. So that is Dharma, Satyam Vada, Dharmanchara and all. So now we got, I already explained you that all the 4 Vedas are divided into 4, each Veda is divided into 4 parts. Mantra Bhagar, Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads. The first 3 parts come under Karma. Karma Siddhanta we say. The this Purva Bhaga as we say. So Purva Mimamsa, we said Mimamsa means actually Chercha, discussing about these things and coming to conclusions. Then these Upanishads, the last part of Vedas, is called as Upanishads. That is called as Vedanta, Veda Anta. It is at the end of Vedas. It is called as Jnana Kanda. So the first part is Karma Kanda, 3 parts together. The last part is Jnana Kanda. After doing Karma Kanda, studying, understanding, practicing, getting the results and all, when once a person really understands, experiences that all these karmas, yajna, yagadi, kratu, acharana, getting swargas, this, that, everything, all this is ephemeral. That is not shashvata. That is ashashvata. It is anitya. It does not exist. Dukkha sammisrita. It is always mixed with dukkha, sorrow, agony. It is not free from dukkha. Shashvata ananda we cannot get. It is temporary. Then we develop real vairagya, detachment. We do not like this. We came to know. We understood that all these are waste, useless. Even though 1,000 times we perform all these, take birth and all, go to Swarga, Kshine Punye Marchalokam Vishanti. After enjoying, of course, for a very long time, maybe in the divine lokas, Swarga, etc. Again, the Jivi, we have to come back till we get moksha. So the final aim is liberation. How to get liberation? Liberation, mukti means it is not any like a fruit or any object or article which we could not obtain, which we try and get. Suppose a fruit is there somewhere. If we go there, pluck that, get it, we obtained, we got that fruit. It is not like that. What our Vedanta says is, it is we ourselves are mukta. We are liberated. Some animal, they say in Advaita, that certain animals, suppose even the cows, Gomata, we never call them, we call only Gomata, not as the animal. Even then, when cows, buffaloes or horses, elephants, they are there, they tie them so that they will not go here, there, they will not miss, or maybe due to several reasons. But the nature of animal is, suppose one animal is there, maybe a horse or something, even elephant, it is watching. The person who is taking care of the animals, he is tying the feet to a pillar existing there with the rope. So the animal is seeing that the master, Yajamani, is tying all the animals to the pillars which are there with the ropes. So when he approaches this particular animal, though he does not tie literally, really he is not tying. He acts as if he is tying, taking the rope and just touching the feet of that animal, he does not tie. He acts as if he tied, and he keeps that rope aside. Even then, when anybody are coming and calling or something, the other animals, they tried to move, they could not move. Even though it is not being tied, it also feels that it is tied, so it cannot move. It does not move from that place. Till evening, it stands there only, sits there only. Then again, when the master comes, and suppose when he removes the ties of other animals and approaching this animal, actually it is not tied at all. He acts as if he took out that knot and he made it free. Then immediately it runs. So that is how all the human beings, they are by birth. We all are Nitya, Suttha, Buddha, Mukta, Atmas. Yet we are considering ourselves as if we are being tied in a limited body with certain name, form, designation, relationship, position, everything. These are not the bondages at all. So that is what the Advaita says. So the Jnana Kanda, Upanishads deal with Jnana Kanda. So we got, how many Upanishads are there? Anantavai Veda. Vedas are endless, Ananta. So each branch of the Veda got one Upanishad. In that sense, Anantavai Upanishadaka. Even Upanishads are Ananta, countless, innumerable. Even then, at the beginning of Kali Yuga, after Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, we say Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. At the beginning of Kruta Yuga, starting when the creation was there, when Paramatma gave Vedas, Veda Vijnana for us, Anantavai Veda. But slowly, in due course of time, they get damaged, diminished, destroyed and all. At the beginning of Kali Yuga, they said 1131 Veda Shakhas were there. Now out of 1131, now only 11 are remaining. See how vast knowledge we lost. How we lost? By the Turushkas, Dandayatras. They that is, they robbed away, snatched away, they destroyed, they drowned them into oceans and all. And some people, they took them to their countries. So, and then due to maybe due to several other reasons also. But at present, we got only 11 branches of Vedas, Veda Shakhas. Out of 11 also, only 7 Veda Shakhas are being taught through Guru to Sishya, Guru Sishya Parampara. What about the other branches? There are no great gurus who got the knowledge to teach those branches of Veda. They themselves, because all the people, Turushkas, Muslims mainly, they killed all the Pandits, all the great scholars, those who are aware of Sanskritam, those who are Veda Pandits, those who are the priests of the temples. Ruthlessly they killed, they destroyed. So that is how we lost all this. So at the beginning of course, this Kali Yuga also, now Upanishads, 1181 Upanishads are there. Even now, in fact, 1181 Upanishads are there, but we are unable to know. We do not know whether they exist or not. Now we got 108 Upanishads. Out the names of 108 Upanishads are given in Muktikopanishad, another Upanishad, a very great, beautiful Upanishad where Sri Ramachandra gives Brahma Jnana to Hanuman, Anjaneya Swami. So there 108 Upanishads names are given. and we can get, of course, 108 Upanishads. All of us are able to read, study, gain the knowledge and all. All the 108 Upanishads are published by some people, different people published in Upanishad Kalpataru. Upanishad Kalpataru, a very big book having all 108 Upanishads, and it is published in 3 volumes. That I purchased long back when I did my PhD. Then at that time in Telugu, the Samskrita sloka mantras, they are Veda mantras only. Upanishad means the mantras and translation, simple translation. Upanishad Kalpataru, 3 parts. So 108 Upanishads we got. The names of 1181 Upanishads also we are able to know the names, but not the Upanishads. The books have gone lost. Out of 108 Upanishads, 11 Upanishads are considered as Mukhya Upanishads. Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada wrote commentaries on Dasha Upanishads. So we say Dashopanishadaka, 10 Upanishads. Ishakena Katha Prishna Munda Mandukya Tittiri Aitareyam cha Chandogyam Bruhadaranyakam Tatha. Tatha means like this. Again it is continued. It is there in Muktikopanishad, the first mantra. While speaking about 108 Upanishads, it continued. The names of all 108 are given there. So all these 10 Upanishads are very important for us. Then Darshana, the Maharshis, great sages, they visualize the truth. They did a sort of research without any equipments. Not like these scientists, now they got so many machines and experimental laboratories and all they are doing. But our Maharshis, only their intellect, their mind, their heart, their capacity, intellectual power, that itself is the laboratory. With their vision, they viewed about the whole nature, the Prakriti, Jivatma, Paramatma. Taking these 3 are the basic. Taking these 3, each Maharshi from their own point of view, their own drukkona, they got some jnana. Whatever ideas they got, they gave us in the form of darshanas, the Shad Darsanas, which we already explained. So each, the Sankhya Darsana, they say this is the oldest. Yoga Darsana, they say that is the oldest. Nyaya Darshana also is similarly said it is the oldest and all. But all these all these darshanas, darshana means drushu is the root. Druk Drushya Viveka, a very wonderful book written, Prakarana Grantha, written by Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada. So, Drusha Pashya, to see, Pashyati. Darshana, from the root Drush, Darshana has come, that is vision, seeing. So, they saw the truth and explained something. So, these are the darshanas. Then, after darshanas come itihasa, which all of you are aware, Ramayana, Mahabharata. No, even before them, Puranas. We must know about Puranas. Pura api navam bhavati iti Purana, we say. Ashtadasha Puranas. 18 Puranas are written by Vedavyasa Bhagavan. To remember the names of all the Upanishads, first we must know the names of Upanishads. Then when we learn by heart a small sloka, then with the help of this sloka, we can remember 18 Upanishads. Madvayam, Padvayam, Cheva, Bratrayam, Va Chatushtayam, Anapalinga Kuskani, Puranani, Pruthak Pruthak, or Puranani Prachakshate. They say that these are the 18 Puranas. Madvayam, Padvayam, Cheva, Madvayam. 2, Dvaya means 2, Traya means 3, Chaturtha we say Chetuhu means 4 and all. So Madvayam, 2 Purana start with Makara. Makara is Matsya Purana, Markandeya Purana. That is how we must remember. Then Bhadvayam, 2 Puranas from Bhakara. Bhagavata Purana, Bhavishya Purana. Then Bhagavata Purana. Bhagavata Purana means Srimad Bhagavatam we say, the same one. So Ramayana, Bharata, Bhagavata. Normally we say this Bhagavata is completely Bhakti Shastra. It speaks only about the Bhakti, devotion, the God, Bhakta, Bhakti, Bhagavan. Only these 3. Then Madvayam, Padvayam Cheva, Bratrayam, Va Chetushtayam. Bratrayam. 3 Purana start with Bra. Brahma Purana, Brahmanda Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Then Va Chetushtayam. 4 Purana starting with Vakara. Varaha Purana, Vamana Purana, Vishnu Purana, then Vayu Purana, about a wind god. Then Anapalinga Kuskani. A means Agni Purana, Na means Narada Purana, Pa means Padma Purana, Lim means Linga Purana, Ku means Kurma Purana, Anapalinga Ku Kurma Purana. So these are the 18 Puranas. Then all these 18 Puranas got 18 Upapuranas. So many Puranas are there. So all these Puranas speak about so many things. They speak about Surya Vamsha kings, Chandra Vamsha kings who ruled our country. Then Sargascha, Pratisargascha, Vamsho, Manvantaranicha. So all these are, Sarga means Srishti. All the Puranas speak how the creation emanated, how the world came into existence. And everything, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, they speak. They speak about what all we need, a human being needs to have the knowledge of. Everything is given in all the Puranas. There may be a little repetitions because all the Puranas speak about Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Parabrahma, this, that, and everything. Common ideas are there. Even then, a particular method they certainly follow. Then besides them, Shastras, I said, Dharma Shastras are there, and Manusmriti, Vamana Smriti, Vayu, so many Maharshis, 18 Smriti Granthas are there. Then 18 Upasmriti Granthas also are there. Every Parashara Maharshi wrote Smriti. Parashara means Vyasa Bhagavan. Vyasa Smriti, Shankha Likita Smriti, Manu Smriti, then Gautama Smriti. Like that, so many Smriti Granthas are there. Then besides them, Shastras are there. Shastra Granthas. We got so many Shastras in our Sanskritam. So Alankara Shastra, we say rhetorics. We say how to write the poetry, and then Natya Shastra, Bharata Maharshi's Natya Shastra speaks about how to write Mahakavyas, Kandakavyas, and all other Kavya Prakriyas. Yaneva Shabdan Vayamala Pamaha, Yaneva Charthan Vayamullikamaka, Taireva Vinyasa Visesha Purvaiki, Samohayanta Kavayo Jaganti, they say. The same objects which we ordinary people are seeing, the great Kavis, poets also see. The words which we use, they also use, but they write in such a melodious manner that they make us sammoha, sammohana. Moha, mukha, moha means you know the meaning. So sammohanastra, just as sammohanastra, suppose this Arjuna, while fighting with all the Kuru Rajas at the time of all of you know, you have seen it in Nartanashala picture also. He just hit only Sammohanastra. All Kuru Sainya, they fell as if they are sleeping. Then at the time of Uttara Gograhana, So that fighting. So sammohana, sammohayanta kavayo jaganti. These kavis, poets, scholars, dramatists, they mesmerize us, all of us, by their jugglery of the words they use. Then Alankara Shastra, Dhvanyaloka is there, Anandavarthana wrote. Then Jagannatha Panditaraya wrote Rasagangadhara. Then Viswanatha Kavi Chakravarti, we say, he wrote Sahitya Darpana. This Sahitya Darpana we got in our syllabus while studying MA. Then even though we got only one book, we were advised to go through all the words, mainly Kavya Prakasha. Dhvanyaloka, Kavya Prakasha, we certainly read to know about the Dhvani, about the Sahitya and all. Then Appaya Dikshita's Kuvalayananda. All these are Kavya Darsha, Kavya Prakasha, Mummata wrote Kavya Prakasha. All these are Alankara Shastra Granthas. Then Vyakarana Grantha. Before Panini also Kaumudi was there, Maha Kaumudi was there, a very big grammar books are there. Then Ashtachayi Pathamala written by Panini. Then Patanjali Maharshi wrote Bhashya. Then Vararuchi wrote Vartikas. Then Bhattoji Dikshita wrote Siddhanta Kaumudi. Then Nagesa Bhatta wrote Paribhasha Indu Sekharaha. Paribhashendu Sekhara. Then Tarka Shastra. Tarka is, though one of Shaddarsanas, Tarka got a special significant place given as the Shastra. Tarka Shastra, we say. So, Nyaya Sutras were written by Gautama. That is the base for Tarka Shastra. Nyaya Manjari, Jayanta Bhatta. Then Tattva Chintamani written by Gangesh Upachaya. Then even Purva Mimamsa, though it is one of Shaddarsanas, Purva Mimamsa is considered as the best Shastra Grantha, because Mimamsa means Chercha. To get any jnana, we must do Chercha, discussion, discourses. So Jaimini Maharshi wrote Jaimini Sutras as the Grantha. Then Kumarila Bhatta, the great best disciple of Jaimini Maharshi is Kumarila Bhatta. So he wrote Tantra Vartika. Actually, Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada wanted to have debate with Kumarila Bhatta. Shankara wanted to defeat Kumarila Bhatta so that he can establish Advaita over Purva Mimamsa. But at that time, when Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada approached Kumarila Bhatta, he was doing himself, because that's a very big story. So many stories are there, wonderful life stories. At that time, Kumarila Bhatta was about to die, keeping the husk. He sat in there and covered him through the dust, only face appearing, and he lit that, and dying completely, he would be cooked in that fire of that paddy he put fully. Why he wanted to do that is not Atmahatya, but in one sense Atmahatya only. Atma means he himself wanted to keep an end, put an end to himself, because he deceived his guru. How actually he is great, great scholar, a great karmisti, who is fully aware of all the process of doing yajna yagadi kratus and all. He is a great karmisti, doing throughout his life. He spent as a karmisti doing all yajna yagadi kratus, astika, doing all the rituals as per Sanatana Dharma, Veda, Shastras and all. He wanted to defeat Buddhists, because at that time Buddhism was predominantly occupying. So due to the actually why Buddhism came, very good reasons are there. Even then, due to Buddhism, our people, they are becoming lazy in one sense. They developed Nastikatva. They became a sort of Tandrata they developed. They do not, they are not, even though others are destroying our country, our dharma, our devatas and all, if they keep quiet, what is the use of with that ahimsa? Because Jainism and Buddhism, they speak about ahimsa. Ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, aparigrahaka. These are taught even by Sanatana Dharma, Vedas, Upanishad, Dharma Shastras and all. But ahimsa, whenever we say ahimsa paramo dharmaka, dharma himsa tathaivacha. Similarly, dharma himsa is also dharma only. When anybody is coming and doing harm to our devatas and the devalayas, our Sanatana Dharma, we must fight with them. We must protect ourselves, our dharma and all. So, because of this ahimsa, people are becoming lazy, and all others are coming and occupying. Videshastas, Vimatastas are occupying us. So, that Buddhism is also to be defeated. So thus Adi Shankara Bhagavad wanted to have dialogue with Kumarila Bhatta, but because he was about to die, he joined as a Buddhist monk. He joined as a Shishya in Buddhist Gurukula, studied all the Buddhism, learned the secrets and everything, sutras of Buddhism, so that when we know the statements of other doctrine, then we would be able to defeat them with our doctrine. So, with that intention of defeating Buddhism, Kumarila Bhatta became a Shishya to a Buddhist monk and studied, and he wanted to discuss and prove that Sanatana Dharma is great, Veda Vijnana is great, or this Karma Kanda is great, like that. But one of the Sishyas, classmates of Kumarila Bhatta, they sensed whenever they are doing, Buddhists are doing Veda Ninda, they are blaming Vedas, Veda, Vijnana and all. Kumarila Bhatta could not bear that. So that Badha, that agony, the anger is seen on his face, in the eyes. So somebody told with his master that he is not real Buddhist. Then the Guru gave the punishment that he should be thrown from a big mountain. So they, all other Sishyas holding the Kumarila Bhatta, took him to the peak of the mountain. From there they just threw him down, so that the Kumarila Bhatta, he must die. But that very moment, Kumarila Bhatta prayed Vedamata. I believe that Vedas are very great. Vedamata is all powerful. If Veda is Satya, it must protect me. So with that word, what he said, his life is saved. He did not die. Even though from such a thousands of height he has been thrown, even then nothing harm occurred to his body. He is alive, but one stone pricked his eye, one of the eyes, only one eye, and that eye has gone. Another eye is there. Eyesight did not gone fully. Then he wondered, he should be fully protected. How is that some wound occurred to his eye? Then he questioned Vedamata. Hey Vedamata, how is it that I am protected but my eye got damaged? Then the Mata replied him, you said if Vedas are authority, because you got a little suspect, you sandeha, some doubt you got in your mind. So if Vedas are pramana, if you have said wholeheartedly, completely, Vedas are parama pramana, Veda Vijnana, Veda Mata will protect me, then you would have fully protected. That is how we must have immense faith and belief in what we are doing. So, anyhow, this person, so then later he repented that, because even though that Buddhist monk may be, rivalry may be there in between Purva Mimamsa and Buddhism, but he joined there as a Shishya. The duty of Shishya is to honor Guru, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, whoever he may be, who asked him to join there. When he joined as a Shishya, it is his 100% duty to serve the master as equal to God. He should not learn to deceive them. So he himself repented. So as Prayaschitta, he wanted to die. So when Shankara Bhagavad-pada approached there, this Kumarila Bhatta, then he said, my best student, disciple is there, Mandana Misra. You go and have the discourse with him. Then Shankaracharya went to Mandana Misra. We know that story also. Mandana Misra, Ubhaya Bharati and everything. So then Sabara Swami wrote Chabara Bhashya, we say, on Purva Mimamsa Shastra, very wonderful Bhashya Grantha. Then for Uttara Mimamsa, the base is Upanishads only. Upanishad Vijnana is the essence of Uttara Mimamsa, but the entire essence of Upanishads is written in the form of Brahma Sutras by Vedavyasa Bhagavan. So Brahma Sutras are the authentic work for Uttara Mimamsa, Vedanta Darshana. Later, of course, all the Upanishads, then Brahma Sutras and Bhagavad Gita, these three are considered as Prasthana Traya. These Traya means three, Prasthana, Prakrishtam, Sthanam. The best marga, the best way to reach Brahman, the gain. And there are, of course, in Vedanta, so many people, Trimatacharyas are there. Then that is Dvaita, Advaita, Visishta Advaita, Dvaita, Advaita, Shuddha Advaita, Nimbarka was there. So many other great people are there who are all great Maharshis. Okay. Actually, I will tell some other story which is not there in Pravesa book, only Nyaya Darshana, Nyaya Shastra. We say Nyaya Shastra is also one of Shaddarsanas and best one of Shastra Granthas. In the olden days only Gurukulas were there. All the disciples from all directions, they used to come, stay in the Gurukulas and study. Then one of the ashramas, one guru was there and so many disciples joined there. In the olden days, they used to teach all Shastras, all Vedas, keeping so many other teachers also along with them. That is how, like universities, they used to run the Gurukulas. A particular guru was there. He used to teach all Shaddarsanas to all the disciples. Whoever wants to study Jyotish Shastra, he used to teach them. Thus Vyakarana Shastra, thus Tarka Shastra, thus Ayurveda. Ayurveda is also, they used to teach Upavedas and all. Then Artha Shastra also. So many different students are there, disciples. They are studying all the Shastras under one Guru. The Guru Patni, like the mother, she takes care of all the disciples, and every day during afternoon time, during night time, the master sits at one place, then all the disciples also sit there along with the master, and the Guru Patni gives them food, serves food to all of them, and they eat. After completing, then later she eats, cleans and all. This Guru Patni got a doubt once. She questioned her husband. Hey, husband means Natha, they say, or Arya, they say. So I can understand the importance of all the Shastras that you are reaching. Ayurveda, then Vyakarana, or Vedanta, or whatever may be. All these are necessary for human beings to acquire knowledge and later to live in the society, making that as the means of livelihood. They can teach, they can earn money and live happily. What importance is there to Tarka Shastra? What is the use of learning Tarka Shastra? You are teaching to that boy. One boy has come who is very much interested only in Tarka Shastra particularly. Why you are teaching? What is the use of that? After studying Tarka Shastra, how he will be able to live in the society? What benefit he is going to get? So the husband did not answer her. He just smiled. Then a few days have passed. One day during night time or maybe afternoon also we can say, when all of them are eating, almost they have finished their eating, they have come to the end, last, finally we eat with the buttermilk or curd. That would be the last one. So almost they have completed eating and about to finish within a little time. Then at that time, suddenly this master, he loudly proclaimed that, oh, I have eaten a very big poisonous, what we say, kunkudukayalu, a very big, like a round ball, a very big ball, not small like mosquito or fly or this, that and all. He said that, I have eaten a very poisonous poisonous ketaka, which is as big as that of a roll. And immediately he fell down. He declared that he ate a big kunkudikaya ginjanta, they say like the shape of the nut of some tree, and he ate that poisonous nut and immediately fell down. And he did not move. Then suddenly all the disciples, except one boy who is studying Tarka, all other students, they immediately rose up. This lady, the wife, how much she got afraid of when her husband fell down, the two eating a poisonous nut like Kitaka. So she got very much frightened. She started to weep. All the students, they washed their hands, came there. The one who is studying Jyotish Shastra, he tried to count down whether that time, at what time the master ate that and fell down. Is there any mrityu khadiyas, or are they amrita khadiyas? Is the master going to get revived, or is he going to die? Like that, Meena Meshas, Grahana Nakshatras, we say. Ayurveda, the student who is studying Ayurveda, he rushed into the garden. He picked up certain very, that is medicinal plants would be there everywhere. He picked up some leaves, then he squeezed that and tried to put that into the mouth and nostrils of the master, so that due to that immortal power of the leaves, Amrutatva, medicinal power, master would rise and all. So everyone, some other ordinary people, they are trying to rub the feet of the master, hands and all. Some of them try to sprinkle water like that. Saityopacharas, we say, all of them are trying. But this boy, the one who is learning Tarka, he just saw his master once, and without moving, he completed. He is eating. He is finishing the remaining food. Then the wife, for one moment, she got frightened, and immediately she observed that all the disciples, they are trying to revive her husband, the master. And he saw this boy eating happily. So immediately she got anger on him. He said, are you not having any devotion and love for your master? Why you are eating? All these other friends, see how much they are trying to serve your master. Then the boy said, oh mother, nothing happened to our master. Nothing happened to your husband. He is healthy. He is very happily. He is trying to either he wants to teach a lesson to somebody, or he is pretending something. He wants someone to learn something. Nothing happened to him. Otherwise, my master, he is not a dull-witted. He is a very great intellectual scholar. He is a great pandit. He is aware of everything. How can a person knowing willingly eat a very big nut like poisonous animal, poisonous Kitaka, it is all only pretext. Then immediately the Guru, he rose up and said, asked his wife, have you understood the benefit of learning Tarka Shastra? This is the prayojana. This is the purpose of learning Tarka. They develop reasoning. They know, they try to analyze what all are happening. So, okay, here we'll stop. Next class, before the class, I will send you some exercises. You try to learn them and practice them. And you should answer, you should identify each and every word of small sentences which I give you, which I will send you in your group. So if they are shabdas, you must be able to tell which anta, akaranta, ikaranta, like that. Which gender, pumlinga, strilinga, napumsakalinga and all. Then which vachana, is it ekavachana or vivachana or bakvachana? Similarly, for kriyapada, you must identify the root and whether the root is parasmaipadi or atmanepadi. And that kriyapada, is it in vartamana kala, putakala, bhavishyat kala, or is it in vithilinga or agnartha and all. So those very small sentences I will send. You see them from your Pravesa textbook only. First lesson and second lesson I will post in the group for the sake of those who do not have the book with you. So you must be able to answer me. Next class, completely you have to tell. I will ask only one word, one question, and all of you, one by one, each one of you, not only one should not answer for all. Each one of you telling your name, showing your face, you must answer me. Is it okay?
Yes, madam.
See, I
Yes,
don't.
madam.
Okay, madam.
Okay, ma'am.
We will try.
Yes, madam.
Swasti for today.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Sushmita ji to do the prayer, please.
Yes. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सदनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु
Sarve Jana Sukhina Bhavantu. Swasti. Thank you, Sushmita ji. Now I request Sunita ji to do the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभाशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक सर्वज्ञ विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद
Jai Hind. Thank you, Sunita ji. Now, Mr. Sridhar Subramanian, please.
Namaskaram, madam.
Namaste.
Namaskaram. See, now in our spiritual journey, the end goal is self-realization. We are like, but we need to have an intellectual understanding before we have the anubhuti or the experience. Lot of jnanis or pravachan kartas, they say you should have anubhuti, otherwise just reading books or even going to this one, will not really help. Now you are a scholar. You have painstakingly told us the sequence of things that we need to know. We will definitely take all the learnings that we have and we will dig deep and try to get further into the subjects which we have been exposed to. Now, you as a scholar, tell me now, like, you are definitely up in the ladder. Nichana paina ekkoda paina metlu unnaru meeru. How do you think, are you closer to your objective, or you are also like us because you don't have anubhuti? How do you react to this matter?
This is not related to our syllabus and all, but even then you said the spiritual life journey. The real purpose of our life is mukti, they said, because dharma, artha, kama, moksha, as given by our maharshis. But actually what is mukti is from the root mucha, muncha, to leave, to abandon. That is, it is free, to become free from the chains. If chains are there, we have to unlock. If knots are there, we have to unlock. If lock is not there, when we realize ourselves as Naham Deho Nendriyan Yantarangaka, if you are really interested in knowing who you are, Nenevaru, we say, who am I? We must, so many methods are given in our Shastras, in our Vedas, Upanishads and all, how to gain Brahma Jnana. At the beginning, Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana are essential. Upanishadic teachings are essential. But after studying, Nayam Pravachanena Lapyo, Na Methaya, Na Bakuna Srutena, Yeme Vaisha Vrunute Tena Lapyaka, Tasyaisha Atma Vivrunute Tanun Swam. Even this is one of the great mantras given in Mundakopanishad, that neither by pravachana, nor by reading, nor by studying, nor by understanding all this we get the Brahma Jnana. But the one who is keen in knowing, we must have seriously mumuksha. Mumuksha means moktum icha mumuksha. We must have tivra, that is very intense desire to know ourselves. Such people can automatically, when one is very much intent to do any work, they try and they get, finally they achieve. And another meaning is yam eva esha yame vaisha vrunute, whomever that Brahma Jnana chooses to be worthy, to such a worthy person, sadhaka, that Brahma Jnana itself unfolds. So that itself becomes visible, just as Lord Srimanarayana, Sri Krishna Paramatma, he himself showed his Vishwarupa to worthy people, whoever are deserving to see. Those who are undeserving people, they got fainted even at Kurusabha also. So to Arjuna, he gave the sight darshana of Vishwarupa. So similarly, to the worthy sadhakas, whoever are deserving, who got sadhana chatushtaya, sampatti with them, who are keen in having Brahma Jnana, for them the knowledge itself, through our intellect only, na methaya, na bakuna srutena, the mantra says, not even by mathas. What is mathas? The intelligence, the high intellect. Even with high intellect also, intelligence also, if a person is very intellectual person, we cannot say 100% he got Brahmajnana. A person may not be such a great, may not appear as if he is such a great intellectual. He might not have studied all the Vedas, Upanishads, Shastras and all. Ramana Maharshi is there. He got experience. He is a divine person. He is Brahmajnani. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He is a Brahmajnani. He saw Devi Ma, Kalika Mata. He could interact and discuss, talk with her. See, even then the bodily pains, whatever prarabdha karma is there, the body has to undergo. So whether I got experience or not, you said I might not have got the experience, in the sense when we realize the fact that what all is appearing is like a dream. When we are seeing that dream, at that time we feel as if the dream is fact. I am experiencing it, whether good or bad, happiness or sorrow, whatever the feelings the mind is doing that planning and all. But the moment we wake up, come to Jagrata Avastha, immediately we realize that the Swapna is Anitya, that is not correct, that is only created, that is not the fact. So similarly, when we understand the reality that this whole universe, these janmas, after all, we are taking birth, leading life, and we have to die. And till we get the knowledge that I am not the body, I am not the senses, I am not the pranas, I am not everything, I am Sat Chit Ananda. Of course, it is said in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, even then, every moment we must meditate on that Soham, Aham Brahmasmi. Then automatically we ourselves experience that this world, though we are doing all the works, though we appear to our ordinary people as if we are involved in this daily routine works, in all the relationships and all, these nothing are connected to us. I am not at all born. When I appear as if I am here, I was born, I die and all. So that knowledge, experience, we must experience with the, not with the mind, not with the intelligence, but through inner vision. We must have that vision. So then we automatically feel, we experience, even though even a small thorn is pricked, we experience the pain. Even then, at that time also, even though the operation is being done, they give anesthesia. Even then, suppose that is not given, then also, while the body is experiencing the pain, the awareness would be there in us, that after all that accident or that operation or maybe whatever may be, that is done only to the body and not to me, who am the Atman, who am the real reality, the existence, the uniki, as we say. That we will try to continuously, we must try to meditate on that and must have the awareness that I am different, neither body nor mind nor this, that relationship and everything. Naham karta, that bhavana also should come. Whenever we are doing the works, we have to do the works, our duties. Nobody, even in Gita it is said, na kshanamapi jatu tishtati, without doing the work, even for a moment, no one can. If we are not doing, we are doing the work of not doing the works. So we must understand the Nishkama Karma. If we understand the real essence of the teachings of Upanishads, if we understand, if we try to understand the real essence and teachings of the Adi Shankara Bhagavad Padas, even Prakarana Granthas, our life would be different. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Mr. Krishna Prasad, hope it is on Sanskrit.
Yeah. Namaste, ma'am. Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Ma'am,
Namaste.
actually, ahimsa paramo dharma, dharma himsa tadaiva cha. That concept has got its roots to idam brahmam idam kshatram, something which Parasurama has got an inspiration from. What do you say on that?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
even
The
that
other-
is correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
idam brahmam means this belongs to Brahmanhood and Brahmajnana. Brahmin, Brahman, Brahmana. All these words got very in-depth meaning. Brahmana means the Vedic Brahmana Granthas are there. Veda, one of the parts of Vedas. Mantra Bhag, Brahmana Bhag, Aranyakas, Upanishads, we said. So that Brahmana Bhaga is called as Brahman. And then Brahman, we say, the ultimate reality, the one who got the knowledge of Vedas, Brahmanas, and is practicing in life, is called as Brahmana. Idam Brahmam. This is the Brahminical knowledge. This is the livelihood of Brahman, Brahmin. Idam Kshatram. Kshatat Trayata iti Kshatra. One Kshata means wound. Those who are giving destruction, those who are creating havoc in our lives, in the society, to our nation and all, they must be punished. That is Kshetra, the Kshetriya, one who got the power, physical strength, tolerance, and mental strength also, and who feel that it is his responsibility because he is ruling the citizens. It is his bhajyata, dharma, responsibility to protect the citizens. So it is the duty of mother and father to take care of children. It is the duty of guru to take care of, protect the disciples. It is the duty of the rulers to protect the citizens of country. That is kshatram. So for the sake of that, if necessary, they fight with enemies who are creating havoc in the lives of his citizens. So idam brahmam, idam kshatram. Brahmi tejas and Kshatra tejas, both must be protected by each and every citizen.
Ma'am, one more thing. This is about Kumarla Bhatt. Kumarla Bhatt, when he joined Buddhism and learned the classes, and I find a Sukshma Dharma there. When he falls down, one of his eyes getting damaged for disobeying his guru, or probably, what do you call that? He has not followed that Guru Sishya Sambandha, whatever it is. How do we justify that? Even though it is a Dharma Suksha, that there is a violation by a Sishya by faking his identity as a not as a Hindu but as a Buddhist when he joined it. Don't you think that in that Dharma Suksha, what he did is good for Hindu Dharma? Okay, from that point of view, can't he be exempted? Can't the God have the God not exempted him from the damaging his eye? See, he lost a vision, which means he was not able to do a lot of other further studies. Probably would have done much more.
Harivom. Okay, I understood. But one eyesight is there, only one eye got damaged. The reason the Veda Mata herself declared, she herself said, because you suspected a little, we must have 100% confidence in what we believe, what we do. He said, if Veda is Pramana, I would be protected. He must have said. He said, if Veda is Pramana, I must be protected. Why that if? Kani, we say in Telugu. Why that 100% belief must be there? Then he would have protected. As you said, of course, because he disobeyed his master, the punishment is already given to him. That itself is enough. Because he disobeyed Guru, he tried to cheat Guru and all. Maybe the purpose may be noble. Even then, the work which he did is wrong. For that, anyway, the punishment is given there. That is over. The moment Guru asked other Sishyas to throw him from the peak of mountain, then itself, that Guru Sishya Banta, the deceiving of Kumarla Bhatta, the Guru, then that is over. That is nothing to do in connection with this, harming the eye. He gave the punishment. The moment the punishment is given, the offense which a person commits would come to an end. It ceases.
Right, right. But then his observation that if Vedas are the ones which will protect me, so that made him face that losing of an eye. That's what you were saying, right?
A little doubt he got.
Doubt.
So
Okay.
one of the
Got it.
eyes, but
Right.
sight is there. Another one with one eye also, the whole life can be led happily.
Of course, yeah.
In fact, the vision is there. No.
Vision. Thanks, ma'am. Thank you.
Because he repented later that he should not have deceived his master, he himself wanted to put an end to his body, to himself.
Right. Right. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. We'll
Thank
close
you.
the session.
Thank you also, sir, because though the time is over, they are asking and you stayed with
No.
us. We are all thankful to you.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Shubham.